On June 20th, 2004, a hiker discovered a human skull about 15 miles south of Red Lodge on the way to the Beartooth Pass. And now, 18 years later, those human remains have been identified. In December of 1976, Roger Lee Ellis left his home state of Wisconsin for what would be the last time.
We often reached a point where we couldn't go any further. You know, the DNA wasn't developed far enough along to help us get a true identity. And so this case has always just kind of been here for us.
According to his family, the 22-year-old hitchhiked out west for fear of going to jail for marijuana possession. That was the last time they heard from him.
We were able to send some skeletal remains to Ortham Lab in Texas, and they were able to get the profile, work it up to be able to get the DNA profile that we could then upload into the Ancestry DNA sites.
Ellis's niece was connected through an Ancestry website, which provided the break in the case.
From there, we were able to contact her mother, who is the sister of Rogers Ellis, and able to make a positive identification through that DNA match.
Mahoney says it's a win for all involved, especially for the family. They finally have some closure at last.
They've been sitting there this whole time wondering, and just to give them some closure is a big win for us. Not to mention our selfish side of all the investigators through the last 18 years that have worked on this case, to be able to get a positive identification and at least put that chapter to rest.
But now, more questions need answering, like who, why, and how Ellis was killed.
There's injuries consistent with blunt force trauma to the head. That leads us to believe that this was a homicide.
But discovering the people responsible for the death of Ellis after all these years could prove as difficult as identifying Ellis himself. It's the next chapter of this cold case that both Mahoney and McQuillan are committed to cracking.
We hold that hope, and we're going to track every lead down that we get and do everything we can to try to find the person or persons involved in this. Anything is possible.
In Red Lodge, Phil Van Pelt, MTN News.